Hey again, and welcome back to a new video. So today I want to do the other gameplay. I want to coach or whatever, like the Drogoz gameplay. So first of all, it's on ice mines, and I think the map is most of the times for the legendary, especially in Drogoz, is kind of important because you want to know what cards you would like to get or what cards you maybe don't want to use. So he's playing combustible, so it's combustible gameplay. I think this is fine for ice mines, or ice mines is a really good combustible map. So I think the legendary already is pretty good to start off on ice mines. So then let's just talk about the legend the loadout. Sorry. So I think this card on level 4. I mean, you could run on level 5, but I think 3 or 4 is the least you would want this card to put on, because you want to try to get as much resets as possible of your fire spit, because you play a lot around your fire spit. There are a lot of good areas where you could just spam your fire spit, pressure the enemy, get them out of their position because you apply knockback, so just knock them out of where they already are, stuff like that. And I think this card, like Survival, resetting the cooldown of your movement ability to get out when you're getting low is also fine. Then I think on Ice Mines, this is just my personal preference. I think on Ice Mines, you don't really need that many points in your booster. Like, I mean, you still want to use your booster, obviously, because it's a good ability Drogoz has or brings with him. But I think I'm not I don't play Drogoz that often. I'm definitely better at other roles, I would say, but I think just the pure game sense is it's good to also talk about Drogoz. Like I think you wouldn't really need it. You also could like add some HP cards on ice mines, because they are close up areas. It's also easy for the enemy probably to spam on you, especially considering they have Tiberius. So I think I probably would add some HP, but I think this card is still a good card. Like, it's good to give you not only upward movement, you also gain like some forward movement or whatever. So I think in general the card is good. I'm not sure if you really need it on level 4. Same for the booster. But I think it's fine, because it's only the point fight where it's that close up. So for the rest of the fights, I think it's fine. So I think you can work with it a lot, especially because you have the reset of your fire spit. So I think for combustible, this is the most important card. So let's just start with the gameplay, and I try to pause again when we can see the legendaries to talk a little bit about the legendaries. Okay, so now we can see the legendaries. So what do we expect, or what I want to see, something like that, I don't know. Like, especially for Drogoz, it's important to just spam in the rooms and knock the enemies out. I think it would be a great option to maybe spam your fire spit, that you separate Nano from the team. So like, try to get the fire spit behind Nano to knock him into your team, so your team can focus damage on him, something like that. I think otherwise you just try to stay out of Cassie range, because I'm talking about the point fight in the first place right now, because for Cassie it's pretty easy to hit shots against you up close, obviously, especially when she's playing blast shot, or I think it's impulse, like the legendary is called impulse. She brings a lot of burst damage, so if you're too close to Cassie, then she has it pretty easy. I think Tara shouldn't be that much of a threat. You also could try to like 1v1 Tara, kinda. I think it's not that scary, like damage reduction Tara would be, because it's just burn monster, just try to stay out of the fire. Then, I don't know, yeah, Scorch Nano, I think this is also fine for this map. Tiberius, okay, kinda careful of his chakrams, but they sometimes just fly randomly, so I think there you can't really do something. You obviously don't want to face him when he's using his Q, but I think that's obvious. And on your team, like Shalin probably trying to spam a little bit from range, but you also could like try to go in. Then Imani is a pretty good pick on this map. Same goes for Terminus. Kinda don't understand why he's playing Undying, because he could just play all around his Siphon. I don't know what his legendary is. Maybe he's still putting a lot of points into his Siphon, I don't know. But I think Decimation would have been the better pick here, just because you want to play around your Siphon, want to get the resets, and when getting the resets, want to get out more damage. And Dumba, I don't know, can't see yet, so let's see. Yeah, Master Riding, Nimble, really good items, especially on this map. Like Master Riding on Drogoz on this map is pretty good. Just be the first one in the fight, get out an early fire spit. Pretty good Nimble to just move faster, be not that vulnerable because you can travel faster, so to say. Also good for your ult, because it also affects your ult. Here I would like to see you, like when I go here, I would like to see you to go and barn like this little room and get out your fire spit, either in this room, behind this room, so to say, like in the little doorway they are here, or on the point. It depends on how fast the enemy team is. I didn't really pay attention to their items, so I should have done that. Like I don't know if they have Master Riding, but you will see when you're in here, like usually you don't obviously want to be, as a damage dealer, the first one to go in, but in this niche situation it's okay, because you want to try to get out early damage, a huge fire spit, because the whole team is stacked up. So you either could just spam your fire spit through barns and hit them when they're passing this choke, so to say, as I said, the point, or directly into barns. It depends on how fast the enemy is. I also think right side is not that good for Drogoz in the beginning. Because the whole fight is about barns, so to say. Here you kind of in the open. When you're staying here, it's pretty easy to hit you. So I think that's why I think left side is a little bit better, because you could just hide behind corners. But that's just, I don't know, personal preference. I think the combo at the start is good to start off. Sadly, you didn't hit your fire spit. It's kind of weird, because you shot all 6 rockets, so at least one should have connected, but I don't know. I think this spot right now is fine. Try to pressure Cassie, it's also fine. A little bit unfortunate that your Sheldon died. I don't know why he pushed in that aggressively, or why your term wasn't with him. Term should definitely have siphoned him, because I don't know, it's just so good on this map to have a term to siphon all the damage. But he also went in a little bit too far, like you can see where he died. He's on the enemy side of the map, so I think that's also kind of his fault. Here I don't know, I probably would have waited until I had my fire spit up. Like you only needed to wait a second longer to have your fire spit up to get the huge combo, because with the fire spit salvo combo you can one tap, or if you hit it correctly. Like it depends on where you hit the fire spit and where you hit your rockets. I'm not 100% sure how to do it, but I know that you have to hit your rocket like I don't know how to explain it. I think you have to hit your rockets on the enemy, and the fire spit has to be next to it, because then you deal the most damage. Like you don't have to hit your fire spit directly. It's also enough, or you also get extra damage when you hit the explosion of your rockets hit your fire spit, so to say. It's weird to explain, but then you deal the most damage, and then you can one tap Tara, or most damage. I'm not sure about Tara. Like I don't know how many points she invested in her HP, because Tara already has a lot of HP, so maybe we should put 5 points into it, and has just like 2,400 or 2,450. I'm not sure how much she could get at, but something around that number. So that would be a little bit harder to one tap her, obviously, but I think you always want to try to go for the rocket combustible or rocket fire spit combo. Here you're backing up, like you're backing up because the enemy team pushed in. I mean, your Char died, and immediately when you saw that Char died, you backed out. I think this is fine because now the enemy team was up player, so they needed to or they wanted to go in. So that's why you kind of want to rotate back. And I think this spot here, as I said in the beginning, is just the better spot for Drogoz. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Cassie probably playing Megaton to give you the little knockback. Healing out of combat is fine. I think yeah, now I would like to see you backing up, so to say, but that's good. Kinda lucky that Cyber hit. I didn't expect that Cyber to hit because usually when you shoot upwards, it's kind of hard to hit your Cyber. But I think the enemy type just went perfectly into your combo, and I think this time you actually did like the perfect combo, hitting your rockets next to your fire spit. Yeah, here I think I would have waited for your turn. Like, see how much damage you already took. I mean, you probably wanted to go. I'm not sure if you wanted to go for the early touch or if you just wanted to get into this room to already set up for putting out pressure for the retake, so to say. But I think I just would have waited for turn to siphon you. Like he's going to siphon you, as you can see, but you already took like I think you were full HP and you lost like 700 HP, a little bit less, like, oh no, actually a little bit more. You have 2200, so you actually almost lost a K, like 800 HP just because of going in, so to say. Yeah, that's not really needed. Like when your tank is up, I mean, I also could try to, like here, as you can see, your tank is up. It doesn't matter if you also try to go for the touch, because if your tank doesn't get the touch, you won't get the touch either because you're behind your tank. You don't have, or you're not playing a character who's good at getting in. Like Cassie roll would have been maybe a thing. Shah also would have been a thing, or Imani if you were them, so to say, to use the movement ability. But I think for Drogoz, even if you have Propel 4 in your loadout, it's not possible to get faster than your tank who's already closer, so to say. So I think I would have waited here or backed out, like waited here to see if Term gets the touch. Then I would have waited for the cooldown of my fire spit, spammed the fire spit on the point, so to say, to knock Ceres out of her team, so bring her in an uncomfortable position. It depends where you hit your fire spit. Either she gets knocked in here, knocked out maybe, or knocked to you. So I wouldn't have gone for the touch because, as I said, Term is closer, and if he gets the touch, then it's fine. If he doesn't get the touch, then it's also fine because you couldn't do anything about it because you weren't close enough either. And also, like you had your ult, like, imagine you just stayed back and then you already could have like ulted the Nando or the Ceres, whoever you would want to. I don't know if Nando has his ult. I mean, we can't see. I don't know how much damage he dealt, but Nando and Drogoz sometimes are able to charge it as the same speed, so to say. So if you would have stayed back, you could have already opened the fight for your team in your favor to get a pick and delay their defense, because you want to try to get out as much time as possible. So the more time the team loses, the better the fight looks for you, because it's ice mines. You need a lot of time to push it in. So that's why I think this is something I wanted to add. Like, if you would have stayed behind, you could have started your ult, because the rest of the enemy team probably can't see you. I mean, Ceres probably won't pressure you while starting your ult in here or behind the wall, so to say. But now you can't really ult, because if you started your ult now, Ceres can shoot you, and Nano can shoot you, and Nano's also playing Scorch. So the minimum amount of damage he deals with his fireball is around 530 or something. So here you're in a bad spot to ult, and the ult would have been a good pick to start off the defense for your team, I think. And see, you already die. Like, I mean, this, not saying this was a bad play. Usually it's good to try to go for the touch, but just for the fact that you didn't really need to, Term also went for the touch, and I mean, you could have just avoided your death. Not saying this was a bad play. In general, the idea was fine, but I think I wouldn't have gone for the touch for several reasons I've already explained. I think you just want to wait here, like, don't go in. Your Dama probably dies. They're using Cassio, they see you. Your team is not with you. Your Shah is dead. Mani is dead. I think Term just died or something. I don't know. I can play a little bit. No, Term is actually alive. But anyway, I think I would just go back. Term probably dies because he's not in line of sight to your Dama. I don't know who of the enemy team is standing here to pressure Dama, but Dama probably doesn't want to push up because of Cassie ult. So I think you could have just gone for the reset, let them die. But let's see, maybe it's working out. Like, C-Term is in a really bad spot. She probably dies. Yeah. And I'm not sure if you can get out. Yeah, using the ult to get out, I think, is fine. Good, nice. You cancel the ult early, so you stay at 30%. But if you just would have stayed here, like as I told you, don't go in because of Cassie ult. Your team already had lost like 2 members. You would have saved your ult and maybe could have gone for a pick. I mean, Drogoz ult is not always for a pick. Drogoz ult is also a mobility, like mobility ult, like you used it. So the ult in general for using for mobility is fine. I liked it. I also like that you cancelled it early, but you could have just saved your whole ult charge with staying back and trying to go for the regroup. Here you could just go for fire speed. You also could like spam above this little thingy and just fly up to like I don't know, 3 seconds later. I don't play him that often, so I don't really know the timings, like after how many seconds you have to fly up again and shoot your rocket. But if you watch like other Drogoz players seeing this on this web, they go for the spam above this ice block, so to say, and I'm not sure, like 3 seconds later or something, they fly up again for the rocket and get just the huge combo and knock around the whole team and farm a lot of ult charge. And this is fine, but what I was talking about, I mean, you did it, but I would have gone for it a little bit earlier maybe. You get out Nano ult, so keep in mind Nano doesn't, yeah, that's unfortunate. Nothing you could have done there. You saw your Term in front of you, he randomly, I don't know, put his Siphon down, or because he shot past his Siphon, so that's fine to die there, I guess. And okay, no, let me see first. Okay, now this is fine. Using the wall jump kind of to get a little bit more movement is also fine. Don't knock him out. Like this time I wouldn't have gone for the fire spit to knock him out. You could have shot the fire spit in this direction and shot the fire, or hit the fire spit behind him so he gets knocked in again. Because now you just helped him. I mean, you also dealt some damage to him, but you helped him to get out. I think I would have tried to knock him in again. Stay in the guard, that's fine. Here, no need to use your thrust. I think you just could have walked up and again shoot above this boxes here. Like, yeah, I can't really pause it that good to show it, but shoot. You could just walk up here, fly up, shoot your fire spit out again 2 seconds later or something. As I said, I don't know the timings. Shoot your rocket to hit your fire spit and save your thrust to I don't know, get out or get in other direction. We're checking for left side. I think this is good. Yeah, you already got out a lot of damage there. You kinda, I mean, you almost got the trade with Tara. That's a little bit unfortunate. She's ulting, but only 24 seconds left. So you got out Tara ult. I think therefore it's fine to die. And you try to kill her. And now your shotgun gets the kill. So pretty good, I guess. Yeah, here Therm should just back up. Just because I'm just seeing it. I think he's playing way too aggressive. I don't understand, like, I think I also want to talk about maybe a little bit about the others when possible, just because you're dead right now, or you were dead, you're respawning. The Torm ult is not good. Like, I know I'm talking about Drogoz right now, but the Torm ult is not good. Cause look where the card is. Term can die, respawn like, I don't know how many times you already died, but probably 8 seconds later something. In 8 seconds they can't push the card in. But Term can respawn in 8 seconds and get on the point again, and if he dies then he could go for the ult and make it more possible, or just have another option if you lose the fight to maybe turn the fight because of Term ult. Now he's kind of wasting his Term ult, he probably dies again. That's fine. I didn't. I mean, I have to rewatch it. I only looked at Term. That's fine to go for that fire spirit. Pretty unlucky that you didn't hit anyone. And begging out because Tiberius is yeah, see, like Term died again. Tiberius is pushing in. Okay, now they're using Cassie ult. That's pretty bad for you. You could try to walk up here to hide, because until now they can't, I mean, they can't really reach you here. Depends, maybe Cassie wants to walk up here, then obviously she can hit you or pressure you, but she needs some time to walk back and walk up here, so to say. That's why I would try to go upstairs, not back, because if you walk backwards they can easily hit you. But I guess you're already going up, kind of looking like you're going up, yes. There actually was Tara. I didn't expect Tara to be there. I think it wouldn't have mattered where I would have gone just because Tara came there. And I mean, I definitely didn't expect Tara to be there. But I think there was no situation how you could have lived. So that's completely fine to die there. And now you should be able to defend it. Yes, that's fine, that's good. Okay, looking at the items right now. Still Master Riding 1, that's fine. Nimble, I probably would have gone for Master Riding first and then Nimble on second item. But I think you wanted to get caught, that's why you only had a few credits left for another level of Nimble. So I understand that. And I probably would have gone for, I mean, I said the items are fine, in general the items are fine, but I think I probably would have gone for Master Riding and Caught as the first two items, even though you only can buy one at a time, so to say. But I think I would have bought Nimble later, not as the second item when you don't start with Caught, so to say. Yeah, this time I like it a little bit more. Like I meant this spam in the beginning. So I'm not sure. I think you hit someone actually in Barnes, so I probably would have waited a little bit longer until your fire spit moved out of Barnes, out of this room, so to say, to hit the whole team, because you only hit Tiberius, I think, this time. Going for the ult is fine. You heard Nando ult, so I probably would have cancelled my ult. You know you can cancel your ult because, well, I know you know that you can cancel your ult because you already did it. So as soon as you heard Nando ult, I would have backed out, would have gone in the air maybe. I think moving backwards it wasn't an option, would have taken too long. So I probably would have tried to get in the air. Don't try to hit Saris or immediately cancel your ult, like press E again. Then you stop flying, so to say, so you probably were stuck in the enemy team and died. So that also would have been a bad option, but I think would have been a little bit better than losing your whole ult shot. That's fine. You're kind of setting up. I kind of expected Dumbo here. I don't know what he probably is healing Char. I don't know. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. But it seems like your team is winning the fight, so that's fine. Also, just thinking about it afterwards now, I think it's fine to go for the ult in the beginning, but considering the fact that you have Imani and you both are targets or champions who would go for an early ult, I would have waited out the Imani ult, because Imani ult is most of the times already enough to win the point fight. If the enemy team doesn't have enough bulldozer, then Imani ult is probably enough to win the point fight, and you would have just saved your ult charge for another pick, for another opening, so to say. But in general, going for the ult on my ice mines in the beginning is fine. Yeah, just walking past the point to kind of zone. This is good. Good try to go for the 5-speed, nice. And here I think I would just try to fly over the boxes and just spam, so you don't have to walk past the boxes, because then if the enemy team focuses all the damage, you're kind of stuck here and need a lot of time to get back. But if you move just behind the boxes here and fly above, and they try to focus you can just keep your spacebar go, so to say, and just sink to the ground again and stop flying. And then you're kind of behind the boxes, so you don't have to walk all the way back. You only have to stop flying, so to say, to be in a safe position again. Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, you heard Tiberius Q, right? Like the little sound you can hear when he's using his combat trance, I think it's called. Then Cassie's are also ulting, so I probably would have just hide behind the corner. I wouldn't even push in when you hear Tiberius Q. Every time you hear Tiberius Q, I would just wait out the sound to be sure he doesn't spam fast enough to kill you, so to say. And especially because of Cassie's also ulting, I would just hide behind the boxes here and wait out combat trends and Cassie ult. And here, like you're pushing in when not being full HP. The guard was still on the ground, and Cassie's still ulting, so the enemy team can still see you. So it's pretty easy for them, or kinda it would be pretty easy for them to hit you, because they can tell where you are. Then now that you're probably pushing from high ground, because the ult is still going for a little bit, and even if the ult would stop right now, they know that you're flying somewhere here, so they know you probably are on high ground, and it could just wait for you to push up. And I also, as I said, would have waited until I would have been full HP, because the guard was still on the ground. You just needed to stay in it a little bit longer, even though it's like your screen is looking fine because the red outline is gone, and your HP bar also looks fine because it's blue again. I still would have waited until I would have been full HP. And maybe you're pushing in because of your turn, but your term is way overextended. So if term dies, it's not your fault. Usually you would try to help your tank, obviously, but your term is playing way too aggressively. Also considering he pushed in that far into Cassie ult. That was actually a huge fire spit. Yeah, and just now try to get out. Don't go in. Your term, again, probably dead because he's way too overextended. He took way too much damage. Your Dumba is on the point pushing. I mean, Dumba pushing is the right play, but you lost again to player. Shalin is probably respawning. Same for Imani. But just get back, try to respawn, go for the KDA play, so to say. Because there's, I mean, it's not even a KDA play. Because your team is probably dying. And you, I don't know how fast you die, or if you die, like probably you get staggered. Because the enemy team is now focusing turn, then focusing Damba, then focusing you. So you probably die after each other, so you kind of stagger your whole team. Or, I mean, everyone of your whole team is kind of staggering. Now that the term is dead, I mean, it would surprise me if you actually would manage to survive, or if Dama would manage to keep him that much heat that he would survive. But anyway, I would just go for the regroup. But so, like, even if all of you would survive now, you still are down players. Only one, cause Tyrese is also dead, but you still would be down players because Charlene and Imania are still on the mount, probably respawning. Dama's doing the right play, Dama's going out, trying to, oh, Charlene is actually there, okay. But see, Term is dead. Dama did the right play, like he tried to get out as soon as he realized Term is dead, that's fine. But as I said, for you, I also would have tried to back out. Because if you would have backed out, you probably would have been here, would have been safe, and could have just spammed your fire spit onto Cassie and Nando. And now you actually have to wait again to regroup. So like your Mani should try to get out or just run into to die and don't stagger herself. And Term also should wait. Yeah, Term really shouldn't go in. Like you already used his siphon, probably for charging up his siphon charges. I don't know, but he should have just waited behind the boxes until your team is full again. I like this play, like trying to spam and don't be in the open, so to say, like try to spam in here. I like this play. And here again, you could shoot the fire spit above the ice block and wait a little bit, fly up again, and then shoot your fire spit. Because now you kind of, again, walk behind or past this ice box, so you're kind of in the open. You need a long time to get behind this ice block again. If you just would stay behind this ice block, fly up to shoot your fire spit out, you don't even have to look at the fire spit. If you play Drogoz, often you just get the right timing. Or sometimes it doesn't matter, just shoot out the rocket. The rocket, if it's in the same spot, so to say, will hit the fire spit. It's just, it depends how many players are where the fire spit explodes, so to say. But in general, you always would at least hit one without even looking. Like after 1-2 seconds, I don't know, you probably would hit I don't know, Tiberius. So that's why I kind of would fly up, shoot out the fire spit, fly down again. That's what I am talking about. Like you don't have to look at the fire spit, don't stay in the air, like drop down, and then after 2 seconds or something, fly up again, shoot your rocket. You don't have to you don't have to look at your rocket either. Just the rocket will hit your fire spit if it's the same spot, so to say. Because now you see, like you can't really hit that many people because you kind of scatter. You don't really want to push past. I mean, can try to go back a little bit. Like you don't really want to push past this ice block. You're already knowing that it's not good to push past the shock. And you only can hit like one player because the fire spit travels in this direction. Like it would stop at this wall here, because you don't want to, you really don't want to push past this iceberg, so to say. So in your head you already have the right idea. You don't want to show yourself or don't want to expose yourself, whatever. But if you would shoot above this iceberg, that the fire spit could travel way further than it can now, so to say. Like see, if you shoot the fire spit above this one, you could just, the fire spit would travel until this wall, and even same for this iceberg here. So that's why I don't want to, I wouldn't shoot above the small iceberg. I always would try to shoot above the two stacked up icebergs, so to say. I think this works out, or it's fine, like combining it with your servo. Yeah, I know I do it often myself, like using my movement ability early to get out Sarah's ult, and I always get pulled in as well. But I think the correct play actually would be to save your movement ability because it's Drogoz, it's really unlikely to be able to get out of the Sarah's ult with just Drogoz movement ability. So that's why I kind of would have saved maybe my cooldown to get out Sarah's ult and not use it early, get pulled in, and then you're kind of stuck, so to say. Again, the Term ult is not really needed, or the Term ult is kind of bad. because it's only 30 seconds left. The card is not even at half, so to say. So Turmoil definitely would have been better for point fight, because in theory you have like 6 players when you have Turmoil, because Term can die and can respawn. So this is a really good opportunity for this point fight, especially because otherwise it would take so long to get back to the point, and there's like no value in ulting now. Yeah, your team is pretty low. Like, you can see Term is low, Imani is low, Damba, I don't know, maybe he's healing, but he's looking a little bit better. But I would just stay behind this wall. Don't even go for the play. Don't show yourself, and wait until your team is full healed, or until your team dies. So if your team is full healed, then you could go for the play. So now the enemy team probably knows that you're in here. So when your whole team tries to repush, they know that you're coming out of here. And if your team dies, like Term dies, Imani dies, then just try to get out. Yeah, this is fine. I don't know, maybe I would have gone for the kill on Ceres, because Ceres was already pretty low, and now she got kind of out because no one could finish up. That's why I probably would have gone for the salvo on Ceres, even though your salvo would be way more damage than just the, I don't know, probably 500 HP Ceres had left. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I mean, it doesn't matter now. The pawn fight is over. Term eventually dies as well. Okay, so you're trying to get more court. I think this is fine. I think you could stop in Master Riding and try to finish up court now. Court is a little bit more important, maybe. I mean, Master Riding 3 is also good, especially for last point fight, like when it's 3-3, so the point fight after. So then I would wait, maybe, I don't know, look if I would want to get Master Riding or Court, but rather Court than Master Riding probably. Yeah, I think even if you have Master Riding, it's kind of hard to hit someone through the I don't know, bar, whatever. So that's why I kind of would have just walked in here, I guess, and tried to get out an early salvo again. Because you probably would have hit a, or not salvo, like fire spit, I mean, fire spit. You probably would have hit the fire spit before Cassie ult started. And now if you try to go in for the fire spit, they all can see you. Considering that they have Cassie ult, I probably would try to get back and try to get a line of sight to the point, so you could just spam on the point. I don't know, like this. I couldn't really stop perfectly, but the second you could see the point fight, I probably would have just tried to look at the point. I don't really understand why no one's pushing you, or why no one's like trying to deal damage to you, because they have Cassie ult, so they could get out a lot of value when they would see you walking around the door. So they would see every time you would be in their line of sight, they only need to I don't know, shoot the shot, because they could see that, or like they could see the perfect time when you get to the door, so to say. Okay, so okay, now I wanted to say you saw Tara on here, but she's actually dropping. I don't know why Tara's dropping. Probably because of Imani. I don't even know why Imani is ulting like here. I think this is one. Yeah, it actually is Imani. The Imani spot here is pretty bad to ult. I mean, you could try to, maybe I can get another view on it. You could try to ult on this corner, so to say, then you're kind of behind cover, or the corner behind you, or this corner here. Like all 3 corners, those are spots you would want to ult, but this one, I don't know, I wouldn't go. Like this spot for the ult is pretty bad for Imani. And now, yeah, just I don't know. Your turn probably dies because he's playing way too aggressive again. Maybe Dama can keep him up now. Actually, and see how good the turmoil now would have been. Like, imagine he dies now at... I mean, you also have a lot of time to probably retake or retouch, because they only have like 3%. But still, the turmoil would have been pretty good for your team, to just get out again another player, so to say, to keep the pressure on the point fight, and especially because you have your ult. I think Nando probably has his ult, because I haven't heard it for a while. So I don't know. If Sham would have had his ult, would have been really good. You could have tried to go for the ult. Maybe you would get a pick. I don't know. Now you just need to try to stay alive. You don't want to die now. Okay, now Nano ult is getting out. Keep in mind, Nano ult is getting out. Try to get back. Yeah, I think this is Shah, because he's looking invisible. Your Shah also should try to get back. He's probably ulting, but still you should try to get back. Bad ult by him, I think, because you're down players. I don't know. Because when you lose someone on ice once, you kind of want to get out, get back. I mean, you get the pick actually on Tara. This is good for you. Even in Nano, she probably was out of range. But say I would try to stay alive. And I don't know. Your team actually should try to stay here. Like, you don't have to back out completely. You still can try to spam around the corner to hold the enemy team back, because if you retreat too far, the enemy team can just set up perfectly for holding you back. But if you set up here, so to say, in this little room or this little area, even though Tiberius is here, you could just, or someone else of your team could spam up here, like up the stairs. Someone else could spam this little area, so to say, to hold the enemy team back until your turn is back. And now your team is actually going in. I don't know if they survive, but it's not looking too good. So if, yeah, your shot, and yeah, your number also dies. Like, this is not on you. This is not on you. This is on your team. Your team should have backed out. If you would have just backed up, like your whole team waited for turn, you could have just tried to retake the point with your ult, especially because Nano already used this, which you probably would have gotten a pick with your ult. And now you just need to try to stay alive. Like, see, now your turn is back, but your healer is dead, and your second damage dealer, or your third damage dealer is also dead. So, not looking too good. I probably would try to just fully heal out of combat. Something like that, yes. Again, your turn should just wait. Even though he's playing Undying, so he has a lot of damage reduction when he's getting low. But his support isn't with him. You have enough time to wait until, I don't know, maybe 85%. Then you could try to go for the ult touch. So even if Term stays behind here, waits for Damba, you could try to go for the ult touch then. But now it's not much you could do. Like I think, yeah, this is okay to try to help your turn with getting a pick. That's a little bit unfortunate. You could have walked up a little bit further. But I think, as I said, this is not really on you. So I think now you just, I don't know. Yeah, I try to get back. Probably. Kinda would surprise me if you would actually win that point fight. Because the enemy team should win this point fight for sure. Actually, it's looking like we would actually win the point fight. Okay. So it's working out. It's really surprising that it's actually working out, because the enemy team just had the way better matchup for this, or the better setup to hold your whole team back and just kill everyone after each other, because your team was never full. And they also use Cassie ult, so I think, I don't know, it's kind of surprising that you actually, like, your team managed to win this fight, capture this point. So that's why I said you should have backed up. I don't know. You probably would have lost that point if you would have backed up, but as I said, kind of surprising to me that you actually won the fight. I think this is like a misplay by the enemy team. Yeah, this is fine to get out, because it didn't look like you would get a good trade. Like, you probably would have traded with Cassie, I don't know, but then you would have died. So now this is better, keep your ult charge at 30% and your money still got some picks. Again, your term is playing way too aggressively, but this is also not a new. I think the Mani ult is fine to try to confirm the push, but I think it's also a little bit too early maybe. You get out Nan ult, but he probably charges it back until next point fight. I think I just would wait. They also Cassie ulting right now, or your Tara marked, I don't know. I think this is the Tara mark. So I would just try to get out. Okay, now that your term is back, you could try to stay on high ground, stay in the guard, yes. Try to, yeah, that's what I wanted to say, to get on left side. Kinda unlucky that you missed the fire spit. I think the fire spit would have killed Tyra for sure, but if Sherlin gets the trade with Tyra, wait out the fire, I think this is also fine, also good. And your team, your term actually should, yeah, I don't know, he kinda was again in a weird situation, but it's not about term, like, it's about you. Try to get out. Your Dhamma died, there's no way how term could survive. Your term also should just die or try to get out. There's no need in staying here. Like, you already took some damage. I mean, you probably can refill your HP when healing out of combat, but just as soon as Dhamma died and I think Imani also died, just try to get out in a safe position when the enemy team can't do damage. The enemy team actually should push you and try to kill you. Healing out of combat, you could try to peek your Dhamma, but he's not really looking at you. Again, I think you're staying in air for a little bit too long. Like, looking at your fire spit, you don't have to look at your fire spit. It's okay to get out your fire spit, drop to the ground, and then you also would be able, I think, to hit your fire spit on the ground, because it travels downwards. Your fire spit travels downwards, and if you hit it at the perfect angle, then you don't have to stay in the air, don't have to fly up again. And this is like, okay, I think this is a little bit unfortunate, or you couldn't get out any value of the ult. Like, if you would have gotten the pick, I think this would have been fine to kind of start the point fight. I mean, your team also got 2 picks, like, they are down players. So kind of keep the enemy team down players. I think this is fine to try to do this. But I think the ult in the first place, you kind of activate your ult a little bit too far away, I think. Like, you need too long to travel to the enemy team. You cancel your ult early, this is good, like, you don't die or you don't lose all your ult charge while dying, so to say, this is good. But you probably, I don't know if you can get out. I think the better play would have been to either save your ult and wait if you can just push it because you already are players, or push up, walk up a little bit further and then activate your ult to make sure you actually hit someone with your ult. Yeah, I think this is like, just learn the timings. I think I don't have to say this. This is obvious, like, you kind of shot the fire spit a little bit too early, but I think this is like, you know it already, or you are able to hit your fire spit. I think everyone has just the fire spit. You don't hit. Hide behind the boxes, this is fine. Dhamma ult is good, because Tabri is also getting feared now. Try to time it. You could have tried to time your shot on the landing Tiberius. Now you just, I think I would try to stay up here, even though it's looking good for you. Don't give up your positioning, because you're now in the enemy backline, you're now in the enemy team. and it's pretty easy for the respawners to deal damage to you. They all probably focus points, so they don't really look at you. But anyway, I would have set up here to just spam down and don't waste your fuel, so to say, because now you're kind of using your booster. But you could just set up on high ground, be above the enemy as well without using your booster, be in a safer position because you're behind your team, not in the enemy team backline, so to say. So yeah, but it's actually, yeah, okay, it's looking like you win. And let's go to the stats, to the final thoughts. So I think in general, good play. Again, I would try, as I said, to go or try to go for the fire spit above the icebergs. I would pay more attention to the team comp, like not really team comp, like how your team is doing on player side, like if you're up or if you're down players, to decide when you want to go in, when you want to stay out of the fights. Even though it has worked out for you or you won the point fights, I didn't expect to win. The better play, in my opinion, would have been to just back out, stay out of the fight. As I said, kind of surprising that you won those fights. I said you should have backed out. But as you can see, there are always situations you can't pre-tell because everyone is not like you should act in theory. Or not everyone is doing the perfect play either. So I think you also had a lot of luck that the enemy team also did a lot of mistakes. But in general, as I said, pretty good game. Focus on fire speeds. Focus on pushing up a little bit further for your ults to actually get a kill. And what else I wanted? Oh, like the nano ult. Cancel your ult for the nano ult. This is like, maybe you could try like, or not cancel, fly above the enemy. This is better than just canceling, so to say. And again, as I said, like looking at the player side if you're up or down players. And yeah, thanks again for giving me permission to share this on the channel. I hope you could learn something for the others. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had a nice day. Thanks for watching, and always remember, don't forget, you guys are awesome.